Hello, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are here, well done. It means that you're very, very ambitious, you're serious about crushing your goals, and you are ready to take action. All right, so I just really want to chat about something that's very, very popular and normal for everyone, right? And I suffer from this, and I think a lot of us suffer from this, right? And I just wanted to share with you guys just some of the ways in which I've been able to manage it. I don't think you can overcome it. A lot of the things in life, I don't think we overcome. We just learn how to manage it. We just learn how to recognize it and do better when it happens. So I'm going to talk about imposter syndrome, a big one, right? So imposter syndrome is basically feeling like you're a fraud. You are somebody that you are not, or you are pretending to be somebody that you are not, or you are faking who you are, or you are copying what others are doing, so you are not an original, or you're not real or authentic, And in today's world, it's very, very normal because, what's new under the sun? Absolutely nothing. We are all just really building and improving from somebody's original ideas or from somebody's work. We're building on top of that. Nothing is really absolutely new. It's only like a few percentage in this world where we can say somebody is really, really absolutely coming with something that's absolutely new. So that's why it is the era that we are living in. That's why it's so pronounced, if that's the word to use, or it's a thing that a lot of us will experience, that imposter syndrome, and especially in today's era where there's a lot of creative people. The creative industry is growing, and to really, really be unique and stand out takes a lot of work, and we borrow from other people's ideas, we borrow from other people's concepts, and that is why it will really, really always make you feel like you aren't new, or you are fake, or you are copying somebody else's work, you aren't an original. And I think that's where we get it wrong. I have learned as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a creative, that I'm here to borrow what has been done before and make it better for other people. Let me make a typical example. If I was born in the township, right, and somebody's idea was born in the suburbs, let's say, for instance, and they were catering to the people who are in the suburb, right? I can take that idea and say, this is a very brilliant idea. How do I take this idea and make it accessible and practical for somebody who's in the townships, right? So I think one of the biggest ways in which we can really, really learn how to manage imposter syndrome is to say, I'm not here to come up with something new. I'm here to make it better and more practical and more accessible to other people, or the people that you want to serve, right? So that's really how you can make yourself feel better. And it's absolutely not even about making yourself feel better. It's just really about understanding what it is, so that you are better able to tackle it. So there's a quote that says, don't try to reinvent the wheel. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you make things a lot harder for yourself by trying to reinvent the wheel. If you have an idea that reinvents the wheel, perfect, go after it, but then you're gonna just, if you don't have the perfect new, completely new idea, then don't force yourself to reinvent the wheel, because that's where you're gonna give yourself more stress, and that imposter syndrome is really, really, really gonna attack you, and you're not gonna be able to manage it. I'm here, and I'm in the entrepreneurship and business industry. I'm in the training industry. I'm a speaker, and I want to help people build their businesses. I want to help people learn how to manage and market their small businesses in a way that's sustainable. You know, studies have been done. Organizations that have been doing that kind of work already exist, you know. So I'm going to go and look at what they've been doing and who they've been doing it for. And I'm just going to try and make it relevant to who I want to do it for, you know, and just make it easier. Does it make sense for the people that I want to do it for? So if I want to help township entrepreneurs or small businesses to grow their business and market their business, I'm probably going to look at how other organizations have been doing it in the areas that they've been doing it. Then I'm going to introduce it in my community or in the township that I'm from. You know, as simple as that. And I think the most important thing about also managing imposter syndrome is staying relevant and up to date about what's happening in the world today. Information is for everyone, guys. Don't ever think that you are not good enough to borrow somebody else's information and use it so that it suits what you are doing. Information is accessible and it's for everyone. You know, we are here to we are living amongst each other so that we can connect and collaborate with each other, you know, and take that information and adapt it. That's the word. Adapt it to what you are trying to build. As simple as that. If you read a book and you find that this book is really not touching up on the topics or the problems that I'm really experiencing, then you want to go and add more of what you are experiencing and what you are going through on top of the content that you've already read. Make it better for somebody else who's experiencing the similar problems that you're experiencing. That's the only way to beat imposter syndrome. Understand it from that perspective. You know, that somebody has paved the way. I'm here to keep that way moving, relevant and adaptable and practical for new people. You know, let's say typically you're reading a book about marketing that was created in 1855. Back then, there was no digital marketing. We didn't have the kind of technology that we have today. So you're not going to reinvent marketing. No, you're going to take that content and say, how do we then make it practical and adaptable to today's digital era? That's it, you know? And I think the most important thing is, even when you borrow information, when you borrow ideas, always put who you are into that. And that is why it's so important. One of the things when it comes to beating imposter syndrome is understanding who you are as an individual. It's so important to know who you are, guys, or who you want to be. Search for that before anything else, because if you don't know who you are, whatever it is that you're going to borrow from the outside is not going to be unique to you. And you're going to be so blinded by all the noise that then the imposter syndrome will feel real, because in whatever information that you are borrowing, you aren't putting who you are into it. You know, so I would read a book. If I'm reviewing the book, I would review the book and add who Kifilo is, what Kifilo is trying to achieve from the contents that I've learned into that book. And I think that's what we are missing when it comes to education. Education is really about, I'm teaching you this particular content or this work, but you need to take it as a learner and go repurpose it, you know, to suit what agenda it is that, or mission it is that you're trying to achieve. As simple as that. So information is giving you the basics, and then you need to build onto that. And the only way you can do that is if you know who you are and what it is that you're trying to achieve. I had to understand that I am a speaker, I am a trainer, I like to teach, I like to coach. You know, I like to share my personal experiences, you know, how I learn things, how I do things, you know, and I would read tons of books. I would study different organizations. I would study different speakers, you know, trainers, educators, coaches, and say, how are they doing this? How have they been doing it? And then I add a touch of who Kifilo is into it. You know, if I come up with a new brilliant idea, better, you know, but that's not what I'm going to be focusing on. You know, so combine the content, the education that you get from the world with you. That's the only way you can beat imposter syndrome. Don't just be a copycat. I think the biggest thing is just copying what everybody else does and not combining it with who you are and how it adds to who you are and the mission that you're trying to achieve in your lifetime. You know, And then another thing, finding out who you are, the best way to do that is by taking action. I had to do and try so many things for me to eventually come to an answer that this is who I am. I'm a trainer, I'm a speaker, I'm an educator, I'm a coach. You know, I impart knowledge and information and resources to other people so that they can improve their lives, so that they can achieve their goals and their dreams. That's who I am. So how am I going to take that information and combine it with who I am? You know, the struggles that like growing up, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a coach. There are certain things that I absolutely didn't know about that I feel if I knew about them in the beginning, I would be very far. You know, a typical example is that I wanted to be an Olympic athlete, you know, and because I didn't understand what are the steps that I had to take to really get into the industry, I didn't. If I had gotten a coach, you know, if I knew the places that I had to go to improve my talent as an athlete, I would have probably achieved that goal, but I didn't because I didn't have the resources that I needed back then, and I didn't know where to get these resources. You know, so I'm here as Kifulo to say I'm going to show other people how to get to where they want to, because I didn't have somebody do that for me. But I'm going to take that part of me and combine it with what other people have done and make that a reality. So action and finding out who you are and taking your story. Your story is valid. It doesn't matter how small it is. And I always say to people, your story doesn't always have to sound bad and poverty-stricken and ugly, you know, for it to qualify as a story. Even if great things were happening throughout your life, that's your story. You know, your story would be, I want to show other people and make it easier for other people to have a great life like I did. People don't have to struggle to make it in life, you know. So don't think that a story or sharing your personal story always has to be negative or ugly or bad or gruesome or, you know, like heartbreaking. No. Who you are is your story, you know. If you were always a high achiever and you always achieved in school, that's your story. How do you want to help others to be that? You know, how did you get to do it? And say, I'm going to take other people who aren't achievers and I'm going to show them how they can become high achievers throughout their lives. As simple as that. So know who you are. Share that story, you know. Action. Act a lot on who you are and combine it with borrowed information or borrowed knowledge that exists for us out there. And that's your brand. And that's who you are. And I think that's one of the biggest ways in which you can manage imposter syndrome. That's from my personal experience. I used to feel very scared to say that I'm a speaker, you know, because I used to think that for somebody to qualify as a speaker means I need to be standing on top of huge podiums and speaking to a large number of people, you know. And I realized that me just speaking through a YouTube video like this qualifies me as a speaker, you know. And you need to, I think, I once posted this before, you need to qualify yourself. Gone are the days where qualification was a piece of paper that you got from an institution. You need to qualify yourself before you are qualified. You know, how are other people supposed to say to you, you're a speaker, if you haven't told them that you're a speaker? How are other people supposed to say you're a writer if you haven't told them that you're a writer? You know, and that's how it starts. You qualify yourself as who you want to become, and then you share it with the world and you start becoming that. You know, I've hosted a number of Zoom videos where I was teaching and training people in entrepreneurship, business building, marketing, motivating them. That qualifies me as a speaker, you know, as a trainer. This year, I'm one of the Meta Boost trainers, and I train small businesses and entrepreneurs on how to use social media, such as obviously Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, to grow their businesses. I've trained over 90 people in one Zoom call. You know, I've trained over 60 people in a hall. At Wits University was the recent one where I was at the Youth Business Expo. I've been to 2 business expos where I was training people on that, and educating people on using social media. I've done it on Zoom, and that qualifies me as a speaker. So I had to qualify myself first, and then the universe then started bringing that reality to me. Stop thinking that who you want to be has to look a certain way or has to look like somebody else's. I'm a speaker, but why should I think of myself as Vusi Tembekwayo, for instance? He's a speaker as well. If you want to become a media mogul or a broadcaster, why do you need to compare yourself with Oprah Winfrey? If you want to become a comedian, why should you compare yourself with Trevor Noah for you to qualify yourself as a comedian? No. They've also had to go through their share of work to get to the level that they're at. And you at some stage will also have to start. You won't start at the level that they're at, because they definitely did not start at the level that they're at. But I'm definitely sure that they had to qualify themselves and see themselves as that before they could become it, so that they're able then to take the steps in between to become that. Like I said again, action. And having goals is very important. If you know who you want to be, then in between, your goals will direct you into what you need to be doing on a daily basis, right? To reach that particular goal. Like I said, I want to become a trainer. I want to become a speaker. Then I started to see opportunities that will allow me to become that. I said I wanted to become a business coach. I had a contract 3 months where I was coaching a guy that I know who was once a colleague of mine at school at Gibbs, where I was doing my certification as an entrepreneurship trainer, called me and said, hey, I have a gig with a particular mining company. They want us to do coaching for their small businesses. And it's simply because I shared and I told people that I'm a business coach. And even before I became a business coach, I told people that I'm a business coach because that's what I wanted to become. And now somebody remembered me and said, oh, there's this business coach. Gifula is a business coach. Let me contact her and tell her about this gig that I have and have her join me. So the only way to beat imposter syndrome is to become what you want to become before you are that. Qualify yourself before you are that, and then put in the action, and then you will see it start coming to life. But remember, add who you are into your talents and who you want to be. I can try and be Vusi Tembekwayo because I'm a speaker. I can try to be Tony Robinson. I can try to be Oprah Winfrey. I can try to be Trevor Noah, for instance, whatever industry that you're trying to get into. But I can learn from them, and then I can add who I am into my path. So another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to beating imposter syndrome is track your success. I think too many times you're always rushing after success, after success, after success, after success, after success, that we don't stop to reflect and say, what have I achieved? I've bagged gigs this year that have paid me to speak. I have had people pay me for my coaching services. That's success for me. I've grown my following on social media platforms. The engagement has grown so much. That's success for me. Simply people knowing me as a business coach, as a speaker, as a trainer, as an educator. That's success for me. Becoming a trainer for Meta, that's success for me. Speaking at business expos, that's success for me. I used to go to business expos and say, I want to become like that speaker and stand in front of people and teach and speak. And now that I've achieved it, I need to look back and congratulate myself. I've built a coaching business and a speaking business that pays my bills. I'm not employed. If I want to get employed, it will be by choice. And that's success for me. I work at the comfort of my own home. That's what I've always wanted. I don't like offices. I don't like working in an office, guys. I want to work anywhere, anytime when I want to. I don't like feeling crowded, and I don't like working where there's a lot of people. So for me, achieving this, being able to work from home or at a coffee shop or wherever I want to, whenever I want to, and still be able to pay my bills, even though it's not easy every month, but that's success for me. You know? So you need to be able to track your success so that you can manage and beat imposter syndrome and say, but I'm that. I've achieved that. So where's the fraud in that? Because it shows that you've put in the work. Trust me, people don't make it without putting in the work, unless, well, they did it the illegal way. But if you made it the real way, then that means that you put in the work. Trust me. I've studied for my digital marketing certification. I've went and done entrepreneurship training courses, where I could become an entrepreneurship trainer. I've studied to become a business coach. I've put in CVs, I've put in presentations, I've called people asking for their work. I've advertised my business. I've read books. I've done my research. I've planned my businesses. That's work. It doesn't happen overnight. So track your success. Very, very important. And then another thing that I'm going to speak about, do more of what feels natural to you. There's a difference between doing what feels natural to you and staying in your comfort zone. Comfort zone is something like, I'm not gonna put out this video today because what if people are gonna laugh at me? Or what if my video is not gonna get any likes or comments or subscribers? That's your comfort zone. Comfort zone is like, let's say you have a personal trainer and they say, today you're going to do 10 push-ups. And you're like, but I'm not yet ready for 10 push-ups. We're still doing 5. That's comfort zone. Comfort zone is like not wanting to do something because of the fear of what the results are going to look like. And usually you think the results are going to be negative or bad. But doing what feels natural is saying, I'm a speaker. I love speaking. I'm very good at it. I look great behind the camera. I'm going to take this video. I'm going to speak. I'm just going to completely be myself, share my true story, and I'm going to post it on YouTube. Done. That's what feels natural to you. And you don't think of what the results are going to be, but rather you focus on what makes me feel good right now. Shooting this video makes me feel good right now, not whether it's going to get likes or subscribers or shared or whatever the case may be. So do more of what feels natural to you. If you love networking, go out more. If you love doing hair, do more of your hair. If you love cooking, cook more. If you love numbers, do accounting, do whatever. If it feels natural to you and you don't feel uncomfortable and you don't feel unhappy when you are doing it, then do more of that. I know for me, working in an office space doesn't feel natural to me. It's simply who I am. I have a problem with being employed and then having to work in an office. Man, you can give me a job. Just allow me to work from home. Don't ask me to come into the office at 8 and then leave at 4. It doesn't come natural to me. For other people, it does. So, but working from home, being in my own space, being able to move around and not being micromanaged, that feels natural to me. I can do that. And I'll always do an excellent job. So I knew that entrepreneurship and owning a business would be the route for me. So do more of what feels natural and you will manage imposter syndrome very, very easily. Because then, like if I'm in an office, I'm very tense, and my brain feels fuzzy and I don't know if what I'm going to say next. I lose my train of thought, and I get very sleepy and tired and I am always feeling hungry. And by the time I leave the place, I'm down and out. I remember when I used to work at an office, I would always come back home very tired and sleep. On weekends, I'd sleep. Sometimes I'd fall asleep at the office. I remember I was reprimanded twice for sleeping in the office, and that was not who I am, unfortunately, and I always wondered, how do others do it? Somebody telling me I've been working here for 20 years, and I'm like, 20 years coming in here straight? Oh, goodness, that could never be me. So do what feels natural. Do what feels natural. For me, speaking to people, coaching somebody, training somebody, is very, very natural. Sometimes I find myself coaching somebody and they ask me a question that I've never even thought about, but an answer comes to me and it's the perfect answer because it's natural to me. It's a gift, So very, very important. And then lastly, before I close off, is know your strengths and weaknesses. Where are you best fitted in and where do you lack? Having a weakness is not a terrible thing. Like I said, not being able to work in an office is a weakness for me. So how do I then do I then want to keep finding work that focuses on my weaknesses? No. If writing is your weakness, why would you want to continue writing? Unless then you want to improve your writing for some reason that's important to your goals, yes. But I mean, if it's not your strength, why are you wasting time on it? Then you're gonna feel like an imposter. Because nothing original is gonna come out there. You're not in your natural self. But your strengths, my strength is speaking, reading, finding information, building something, building a brand, marketing something. That's my strength, So I focus more on work that utilizes my strengths more than my weaknesses. As simple as that. And that's how I overcome imposter syndrome. Be natural, focus on your strengths more than your weaknesses, and track your success. Don't compare yourself with others. Qualify yourself before anything else, Don't reinvent the wheel. Learn from others and include who you are, and share your story through your work. Most important thing, let you shine in everything that you do. And that's how really you can confront imposter syndrome. And remember, nobody knows. They won't tell you, but nobody knows. We are doing this life thing for the first time. Always remember that. What you're struggling with, somebody else is struggling with it. And that's the beauty of life. And only those who stand out and push through the noise and say, but I am here and I'm still doing it, those are the ones that really make it in life, and those are the ones that truly, truly change the world. But if you're just going to sit in the corner and not come out, unfortunately, you're not going to make it. I hope this was very useful and transformative. If you really, really like the video, drop your comments in the comment section, click like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, please share this content with people in your circle, on your social media platforms that you feel would really, really benefit from this video. And until next time, thank you very much.